Great, good afternoon, and thank you again for organizing this wonderful event and workshop, and just the opportunity to come and share the story of this piece of community-based research that's happening in Western New York. I am going to, let's see if we can get this started here. Great, am I loud enough without holding the microphone? I think I'm okay with that. People's Park, no? Microphone? Okay. Kate, you're right. There's a lot going on up here with this. My story is a little bit different than the two you've heard so far. Mine is a independent collaboration with myself, with Canisius College, as well as the People's Park Steering Committee and the community alliance, I guess, that we've created in the Fillmore area of Buffalo. People's Park is a community garden located near Main and Jewett in the city of Buffalo, right adjacent to the Tri-Main Center. It's a community park and garden developed to provide urban green space for the neighborhood. And the slides that I'm presenting today give you a visual dimension of what's happening in this area. My work does not explicitly relate or explain some of the instances of poverty that you see in low-income neighborhoods in Buffalo, but it does offer kind of a different solution-based initiative to the problem. People's Park, as you can see here, you can see the Tri-Main Center in the background, and this is, upon entering the gate, one of the things that is highlighted here is welcome to your park. Here's a park that was built in the community for the community, and in a way, you know, the community was a little bit taken back to the fact that this was built for them. So I'll explain that a little bit more of that story in a minute. People's Park opened in 2007. We had a grand reopening in 2008, and again in 2009 have held a community celebration for the existence of this green space. Some of the research goals that surround the park are as follows: to develop an understanding of how community space holds meaning for individuals, to assess the value of park programs to promote environmental awareness, to develop an understanding of environmental justice opportunities for the surrounding neighborhoods, and also to implement change based on community need and input. Here's another shot of that area. My involvement stems from a number of different aspects. My involvement as a researcher is to try to develop a sense of what the community-based needs are in this area. My involvement as a scholar and as an activist are to do a few things to promote environmental awareness and environmental education for children and adults in the neighborhood, and to also get a sense of how a urban space becomes transformed. How does space hold meaning for individuals, and how does it go from a vacant parking lot to a meaningful green space where individuals can come, interact with one another, collaborate, and also offers a sense of social capital, social networking, and community building in that area. So the program goals of developing the park, and as I said in some of my research, work on 4 platforms here. 1, to ensure the development of People's Park to promote community strengthening opportunities, to continuing to develop the community garden as an open green space, to keep it maintained and to have buy-in from the community and our other community partners. 3rd, to provide environmental education to increase awareness about environmental issues in general and urban environmental issues in particular. And finally, to sustain environmental benefits in urban areas by tree planting, promotive native plant species growth, and organic vegetable gardening. Part of this last piece, the organic vegetable gardening, has been interesting because we've been finding that just giving individuals the tools to have their own space to garden, to come into the park, and to feel that sense of pride in creating a vegetable garden from seed to harvest has been a really great tool for the community. My involvement, as I said, extends from both an academic point and also as a community-based researcher, working with a 3-year grant that we've achieved through the Department of Environmental Conservation, Environmental Justice, and for communities facing multiple environmental risks. That's a mouthful, but but in 2006 there was a billboard that said "Future Site of People's Park," And if you want to get involved, call this number. So I did. I called it and said, who is doing this park? This is not a park right now. It's a vacant lot. And how do individuals become empowered to see their community change around them? That it's not always from the outside in, but there can be empowerment inside communities to see that change occur. My component with that was to come in and say to the People's Park Steering Committee, who was an organization that had been kind of set up to implement the park structurally and fiscally and such, was to say, here's an opportunity from the state, and let's see if we can get a grant to sustain this park into the next 3 years at least, and hopefully through that time really spend some time researching community need, stepping back and looking at the broader picture to see what the community wanted the park to be for them. Instead of just saying, here's a park, now use it, what are your needs, and how can we support that through a state grant? And as many of us know, all of us know in the room that state funds are relatively hard to come by. So we were on the edge of our seats hoping that this grant would be awarded, and fortunately it was back in the fall of 2008. So we're at the end of the first year of a 3-year grant with this project. The park represents a space, serves as a space for urban transformation, and as well to offer environmental and economic justice opportunities for individuals. The programs that we hope to develop hope to meet these needs. Programs are in formation based on the feedback and research from the community. The form that this research takes is qualitative research, meaning that we're interested in forms of data collection that extend from participant observation, simply viewing and watching who uses the park, when and at what levels. Also doing focus groups and in-depth interviews with users of the park, community-based interest groups, and schools, both private and public, in the area. As you can see, this is a nice shot of the Tri-Main, and really trying to see how close this is located right in that corner. If you drive by Main Street a little too quickly, you will literally miss the park. If you slow down a little bit and look to your left as you're leaving downtown, or your right as you're leaving downtown Buffalo, you'll see the park in that corner. The construction on Main Street has not served us well over the last 2 seasons, but we're hoping this season will help a little bit more. Here's a list of some of our community partners at the time, at current time. We're working with a group called Science Firsthand, whose initiative is to provide mentoring opportunities for urban youth and scholars and teachers and individuals to really teach environmental education for those who don't actually really get a sense of what the nature is around them. Fathers, the community group based crime prevention group, Fillmore Leroy Area Residents Group, FLAIR, Buffalo Board of Block Clubs, Mount St. Joseph's Academy, Canisius College, the Salvation Army, Buffalo Area Services, and the Parkside Community Association. All of these community partners are really defined by their involvement in the park, either using it or offering incentives and initiatives for further development of park programs. Here's an example of some community tree planting that went on with Canisius College students a few springs ago. Here's an example of the community-based vegetable gardens and the pride that a lot of individuals take in bringing their kids and having other individuals see the process through. The Fathers Group, as I said, has been one of our community partners, has been really active in helping us literally recruit individuals to come and use the park. One of my goals and my roles as a community-based researcher is to try to strengthen the dialogue between the People's Park Steering Committee and the community in which this park is located. A lot of the initial setup of the park was done with little collaboration with the community, and Fathers has been great to come forth and kind of bridge that gap for these two interest groups. What you're viewing here is a literacy circle that takes place every Tuesday during the summer for individuals to come into the park, and we've been given books that the children are able to take home with them to increase their library and use as such. The programs: we have an opening and closing celebration. We have science workshops for community youth, art workshops, reading circle for young children, and then concerts for the community as well. So a way to bring together some of the social networking that can occur in a space like this. I'm just going to flip through this real quick. I'm closely out of time. Mayor Brown's support of the Summer Reading Challenge. This was the billboard right next to People's Park that really kind of gave a good incentive for students to get those books down on their lists. Go through some more of these images. One other thing that the park provides for individuals is a new tool, a new way of re-envisioning what kind of community solutions are out there. That, you know, a lot of times as researchers and as community groups, we talk so much about what should happen. You might not see the efficacy of a park offering a solution to poverty. But what we've been able to see in only the 2 short summers we've been working with this, and in Buffalo, the community garden season is short, but we've been able to really see the community come together, partnerships develop, and a strong sense of community efficacy on behalf of all groups involved. So I am out of time, and if there is any more information that you'd like to know or questions you'd like to ask of me, I'd be happy to do that afterwards. So thanks very much. I had to show this last picture. That's a good one.